So we just got done wrapping up our series on Ruth, but I wanted to go ahead and give a quick recap of some of the more interesting facts from the book of Ruth. So here are 15 facts about Ruth. So for these 15 facts, I'm going to try and give them fairly quickly and not elaborate on them as much. Now, if you go ahead and watch my series on Ruth, you might hear some more elaboration on some of these points. But without any further ado, fact number 1, Ruth was written about a Gentile woman who married a prominent Jewish man, whereas Esther was written about a Jewish woman who married a prominent Gentile man. Fact number 2, although this is not stated in the Bible, tradition has the author as being the prophet Samuel. Fact number 3, this is the only book in the Old Testament named after a non-Israelite. Fact number 4, the opening of the book of Ruth tells us that the setting was during the time of the judges. Now, this was a time when everyone did, as it says in Judges, what was right in their own eyes, which makes the story of redemption that much more beautiful. Fact number 5, Ruth and Naomi were both widows. Fact number 6, Boaz was the son of Rahab the prostitute, who would go on to be mentioned in the Hebrews Hall of Faith in Hebrews chapter 11. Fact number 7, although God is not mentioned explicitly as often in Ruth as in other books, you see his hand guiding behind the scenes many, many different times. Fact number 8, when it mentions in Ruth about gleaning was a process that God had provided to take care of the poor in that day. And what it allowed was for the worker to work for his wages, basically, but also for the owner to be gracious in helping give these people something to survive on. And what would be that those that would glean would be able to take the standing grain that was left in the grain fields in the corners, but also pick up whatever was left on the ground from those that had harvested already. Fact number 9, Boaz we see as a picture or a type of Jesus Christ. Fact number 10, the kinsman redeemer had to be willing and able to redeem. Now, thankfully, in this story, Boaz was willing and able, aka he had enough financial support to redeem Ruth and Naomi. And this again points to the fact that Boaz is a picture of Jesus, who was not only willing but able to redeem all of lost humanity. Fact number 11. So where it says in Ruth that Boaz went to the town gate to talk to the elders about the situation, this was because the city gate in those days served as a makeshift judicial hearing. The city council, if you will, of that day was held at the city gate with the elders. Fact number 12, we see an implicit miracle toward the end of the book. Now, previously, Ruth had lived in Moab for 10 years and had not had any children. But once she moved into the land of Bethlehem, it says that God allowed her to conceive and bear a child. And we see this as a miracle of God for opening up her womb. Fact number 13, we see in the book of Ruth that it starts with a funeral, it ends with a wedding, it starts with a famine, it ends with fullness. So it's a great picture of redemption. Through tragedy, we see triumph toward the end. Fact number 14, we see in the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew chapter 1 that Ruth is one of 4 women mentioned in his family line, the others being Rahab, Tamar, and Bathsheba. And finally, fact number 15, we see in the end of the book that Ruth would be the great-grandma of King David. And that's an amazing testimony for how God brought through this tragedy the king of all Israel, King David, would come from her family line. But even more incredible is King Jesus would come from this same family line, the descendant of a pagan Gentile woman who would eventually trust in the living God. God was able to redeem and use in a mighty way. So I hope these fun 15 facts were a blessing to you, and I hope you continue to read your Bible.